Well, hello there. How are you doing? I'm Tommy Sotomayor. If you're used to my videos, you know what is typically my main topic. If you're not, then welcome to a guy that talks a lot about black women in weaves and the children that black people produce. Now, I did a video a little while ago, probably about a week ago. And in that video, what was discussed in that video was weave and why they do it. I don't know what I was, it was something simple like that. But what happened was, apparently I talked a little bit about the process of weave. In talking about the process of weave, I looked in the comment section, as I normally do, and noticed that there was a bunch of people making comments towards the process of weave. Now, for those of you who aren't black, here's something that you should know. Black women typically make a statement that sounds about like this. White women do it too when it comes to weave. They say that you guys get weave as much as they do. I always laugh at this statement because, one, if you have to say that someone else does something as much as you, then that means that people can't tell or either won't admit it. What they're saying, white people, is that you get weave as much as them. So I want you to do me a favor, white women, if you are watching this video, or non-black women, please put in the comment section how often you go and get weave, not extension. Because see, black women seem to not understand the idea that when white women get their hair done or want to get a fuller look, they get what's called extensions. Now, white women, tell me if I'm lying or not. Again, you can answer in the comment section. When you get extensions, do you get extensions that look like your real hair, that complement your real hair? Or do you get extensions that look completely different than your real hair? I would love for you to answer all these questions. You're probably going to have to make sure that you answer it on my website because this video is probably going to be deleted or flagged down really soon. So enjoy it while you can. Another thing, white women, when you put in your extensions, how long do you typically wear it? That's what this video is going to be about, because I'm going to spill a little secret that black women don't like to talk about. Before I start though, I want to ask you another question, white women. Would you ever take Negro hair and sew it in your hair? Would you ever take your hair and put it up in a bun and cover it with Negro hair? Maybe an afro or something. You would? I know. You do it on this thing called Halloween. And even if you did it on Halloween, guess what would probably happen to you, white people? You would be told that you're appropriating black styles or that you're making fun of black hair. Yet black women can get hair that looks just like yours and wear it around every day of the week. Now, I've had a white person tell me he thought that at age 13, all black chicks' hair just changed or something because he remembers seeing black babies with different kind of hair, but he doesn't see black adults anymore with that same kind of hair. That's so funny because what it shows is that you get that hair so much, black women, that they've forgotten what it looks like. They haven't seen a Negro since 1985. Now let me get on to the part of the program that's going to get this thing flagged. I want to talk to you guys about the process of weave. A lot of people didn't know it, but I saw the comments in that video, the previous video I was telling you about. So I want to spill the beans. White people and non-black people, the Asians know how it works because they sell the hair, so they know how it works. But let me explain to everyone else how this process actually works. See, when you see a black woman with silky straight hair or curly locks like Farrah Fawcett, that beautiful hair that you see on this Negro peon's head, well, let me tell you how it got there. It gets there by a process of usually 4 to 7 hours of work, where they will go out and buy these things called bundles. Now, bundles are the amount of hair that is sold in a package, and you have to get it's according to how full you want your hair to look, it's according to how many bundles you get. Now, these bundles can range anywhere from $30 a pack to $300 a pack, and even more. Now, a lot of times women will pay to get their hair done anywhere between $300 and $1,000 to get their full hair done. It's an amazing process. It's such an amazing process that it's the equivalent of going to do surgery. Yes, they use an actual surgical needle to sew it into their hair. Don't let me stop you there, because they don't actually sew it into the scalp. Now let me explain something else to you. Black women are impressed by how human the hair is that they receive. So, if a black woman gets weave and it's pulled straight out of the scalp of some Asian, some Russian, some Brazilian, then it's considered good hair for them. Black women also brag on how much their hair costs. There used to be a time in history where black women would get weave, but they would try to sneak it into their hair and lie about it. Now they are very upfront with it and tell you how much it costs. I had a young lady tell me that her weave cost more than my rent, and she bragged about this. Imagine paying $4,000 for weave. But that's what she stated. And many black women will tell you how much money they pay for their weave with glee, and they will actually make fun of other black women when theirs look cheap. Because of course, straight hair on a Negro looks real. Anyway, let me tell you about this process. What they do is they take their natural hair and they braid it onto their scalps. For those who don't know what braids look like, just imagine what Allen Iverson's hair looked like when it was corn-rolled back, braided up. That's what it looks like. So they will take their hair and do it like that underneath. Now they claim that they're trying to grow their natural hair. That's why they put this different kind of hair in their head. But let me ask you something, white women. Say you were trying to grow your hair and you wanted to do less damage to your hair. Would you put an afro wig on in order to cover your hair so your hair can grow underneath the afro wig? Britney Spears didn't do that when she was bald. She actually put on a wig that looked like her natural hair. So once her natural hair grew, she took the wig off and you couldn't tell. That's supposed to be the point. You know, kind of like a woman getting breast implants. Looks a lot different than if I do it. But I guess if I wanted to play black women after I got me a pair of double Ds, I'd say, white women do it too. And that would justify everything. That's how much black women love you, white women. So just keep listening. Anyway, after they sew their hair back, after they cornrow or braid their hair, they take this surgical needle, and it takes hours of them sewing hair in their head that looks nothing like the hair they have underneath, and they'll sew it around, and they'll get full, long locks. And after black women get these full, long locks, you can see them on Instagram playing with it and throwing it and doing this, because they will feel really good about themselves. And if you watch, most black women, when they haven't had their hair done, they have this look on their face. But once they have had that hair done, they have this look on their face. That's right, they look great. I don't lie to you. Go to Instagram right now, white people, if you do not believe me. Go there now and look. It is an amazing sight to watch a black woman just get her hair done so she can look like Farrah Fawcett, so she can look like the Negro Barbie with her kin, aka Jamarquavius. Now it's funny because they don't even understand what they're doing. Now imagine, black women get to raise little girls, and little girls get to go to schools in America because we're only 13%. So the majority of schools that they go to will be integrated, and they will have white girls in there with long blonde hair, long brown hair, long red hair, and they can throw it over their shoulders. And the little black girl will have two plaits on this side and one plait in the back. And she'll go home and she'll see her mom with golden blonde hair doing it like this and being on flick on Instagram. But black women don't believe this hurts their children psychologically at all. Because they're so selfish, they don't give a shit about their kids. Well, let's move back onto this process that's going to make you really feel good about what you see. Because white women, after you see this, and all other races of women, after you see this, you're going to realize you're so much more superior than black women that they're willing to do the most disgusting things to just look kind of like you. After they've gotten their hair done with this sew-in, there's another process they can use, and it's called a lace front. A lace front has gotten so sophisticated that it comes with skin on the front of it. So what they do is it's like a cap or a hair hat. And they put this hat on, just like I put this hat over my head, and they sit it right there. And then they use this hot glue and glue it to their scalps. All the way around their ears. It even comes with a fall part in it, a fake part. A part that they argue looks like a real part, but they will put it again over their natural hair. They also wear wigs, and they do this too. Now, in the process of doing these things, they're trying to achieve something that's a little bit different than what you're doing when you wear extensions. There's a product that white girls wear. It's called these extensions, and I forgot what it's called. But what they do is they put it on, and at the end of the day, they just take this little band off, and they take it off, and they shake their head. But let me tell you about black women. When black women get sew-ins, guess when they take it out? 3, 6, 9, or sometimes 1 year from when it's installed. That's right. Black women will take somebody else's hair, DNA or synthetic, sew it in their hair with their underneath hair there, and they will leave that thing in their head for months on end. It's gotten so bad that several times you've seen national stories. If you haven't, you can look. National stories of black women having mold in their hair. There was one where a guy took a videotape of a black woman with these like maggots in her hair, and she didn't even know it. And he was on the train and he's filming it, and there are little bugs walking around in her hair. Black women's hair is so nasty, white women and non-white people, non-black people, that you will watch them. If you haven't seen it, black women will do their hair like this because it's itching. Now let me ask you something, white women. Would you put something in your head that's gonna make you do this all day because your head is itching, but you can't scratch it? Because sometimes what they do is they'll get a perm underneath and then get weave in it, so the perm will make their hair straight, and the weave, they say, looks just like their real hair. The reason why many don't do this is because the weave is so heavy, because it weighs a lot. It actually it easily pulls the perm out because the perm becomes thin. That's why they'd rather sew it around their hair. But the lie they tell you is, oh, they're trying to protect their hair. Amazingly enough, you would protect hair from being shown, but then claim you want to grow the underneath, but never show it. Interesting concept, but they'll sell it to you. Now, after all the process of doing this, you will see them do this in public and have no problem doing it. It's a sign of being nasty. If you have to do this, it's a sign of being nasty. Let me ask you something, non-black people, and especially white women. If you were sitting beside me on the bus and you saw me going, would you think I was a clean individual? No. Well, black women will go as long as sometimes 3 months without ever washing their hair. Now, let me give you a little bit of example, or some type of, I don't know, there's an example of what it would do. Imagine if you had, say if I was your boyfriend, and as your boyfriend, I had these favorite pair of underwear, drawers as you will. Now imagine if I went to work in these drawers. Then I went to jogging in these drawers. I came home at night and I took a shower, but I made sure I covered up my drawers because they were my favorite pair of drawers and I didn't want to get them wet. The next day I was still wearing those drawers. And the next day I was still wearing those drawers. Now imagine me wearing those same underwear for a month straight. Now that's the minimum amount of time that black women keep weave in their hair. 1 month straight, I have my drawers on, and I have not washed them at all. How do you think they'd smell? That's right, they'd probably smell like nuts. Well, that's how the majority of black women's hair smells, like nuts. Now, I've never dated a chick with weave, although I have slept with several. But then again, I've also slept with a girl with 1 leg. I've also slept with a girl that was 400 pounds. So getting me to sleep with you is not very impressive. When you sleep with, the last time I slept with a woman with weave,